And hello and welcome for the Demacian Week 1 match between Shadow Team Zenfire Shadow, I can't pronounce it, and then KGB Baron. We're just KG Baron, there we go.
Zenigma Shadowfire versus KG Baron not included.
Yes.
Oh, they're already going.
And we got on the side of Shadowfire Echo Ban.
Not really too surprised. Their mid plays literally only Echo for KG.
Side
from
of
what I can see.
As well as the Zac ban. On the side of KG, we have Jin and Kaisa, more targeting the AD carry, while Zac may be towards the jungler. Fiddlesticks as well.
Fiddlesticks is kind of annoying, especially even if he's behind. If he can get that ultimate off and just get those fears off, even without items, he just does so much damage. Champion is actually so strong.
And KG, again with the Darius ban, but looking at the first pick here, we have Seraphine. Been seeing quite a lot of Seraphine lately in pro play and in casual. So
that ultimate is just so game changing, man. If you can get it through enough of the team members, even just 2 people, you see enough CC and very long range to pull people away for a short period of time to just murder them and kill them.
It seems we have our bot lane from the side of KG with MF and Morgana.
Yep, fairly solid bot lane, honestly. You can, with the Morgana snare, Misfortune can just do whatever she wants in lane, plus you have the Morgana Black Shield to stop stuff such as the Seraphine ult, or even at this point, like an Ivern Q if they're getting ganked.
Yeah, speaking of Ivern, on the side of Shadowfire, Ivern has been recently picked a lot in the jungle, and also Ashe coming for the AD carry, so we have our bot lane. So looking for more of a poke, probably from side of Shadowfire. Morgana wants to try to stop both Ashe and the Seraphine from getting onto the MF with that Black Shield.
Yeah, I kind of don't like the Ashe pick purely because of that Morgana Black Shield. You don't really have a good way to like pop it easily in that bot lane, so we'll see how they do. They are very supportive. They don't really have a very strong carry setup yet, so I'm really excited to see what the next 2 picks are, to see who they have, just trying to win the game for them.
Speaking of the next picks, we have a Syndra for the mid lane on the side of KG, and then going on the bans, we have Volibear on the side of KG, as well as Shen on the side of Shadowfire. Well, maybe Shen.
Not quite yet. Although Shen is like a fairly popular champion that I've seen in casual league. Destiny, you play Shen. We've got a few other people in our league and a few other people in previous leagues that we played with. He's a very promising top laner that's very popular among a lot of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure even Ansem plays him.
Speaking of people liking to play Shen, from what I've heard, KG's top laner has played so much Shen. Oh, is this actual no ban or just someone not banning? Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Kha'Zix with a U.
Kha'Zix. And we have Mordekaiser ban on the side of Shadowfire here. Looking at the jungle and top laner need to be picked for the side of KG, and mid and top for the side of Shadowfire here.
Yeah, see, fortunately the Syndra pick is very blind pickable, so I think they were very happy with getting that pick off and using it for this. And it looks like we're going to go into just like a tank jungles here. We got the Mumu versus Nunu, 2 just very solid tanks that are played a lot.
Oh, and looks like Shadowfire is going for a wombo combo here with Seraphine, a Mumu, Malphite. All great ults to do in teamfight, but don't really have that damage like a Misfortune ult for that.
You know, I will say for the Zenigma's team, they don't really have an insane damage dealer or good strong damage. but they do have a solid front line and 2 supports that can keep people alive very well. I'm feeling like the Ashe here is going to end up going not the typical mandate build that we've been seeing, but like a more hyper carry or carry build that she can use to try and get through the team.
And before we wrap up the pro draft here, it's Ergot versus Malphite in the top lane. I played this matchup quite a bit. I personally go for more the side of the Ergot, since the attack speed slow doesn't really go for his W, but hey, that's just me. Malphite might be good into him. So, yeah.
Still a good armor stacker. He gets more damage, and he gets to buy that armor early on to deal with the Ergot.
Definitely. Just going to take a moment before we get into the client side of things.
Yeah, so while we're waiting on him to go into the client, Destiny, who do you think you favor? Do you think the solid frontline keep Ashe alive comp that Shadowfire seems to have drafted has a better advantage depending on how they play, or do you think like the solid hard engage, we want a team fight and annihilate, destroy people with like the Misfortune and Cinder that we're seeing from KG? Which team do you think has a better comp to win out?
Honestly, I think if it goes late enough, the side of KG just has the damage with MF Syndra and still some damage with Ergot, but more survivability with him. While the side of Shadowfire, from first impressions, their comp doesn't really look more wombo combo instead of just the CC from a Mumu and Seraphine along with the Malphite. Just trying to let Ashe get into the fight and make sure she lives with Ivern and Seraphine. But don't forget, Ivern also has his Daisy for more CC and another person to block damage from.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's kind of interesting though. I was watching a game earlier, and we had an Ivern by a Night Harvester. I think it was yesterday on one of the casual matches. You think we're going to see anything like that from this Ivern, or do you think it's going to be something different? Because keep in mind, like this Ivern is not jungle.
Oh yeah, that's not a jungle Ivern. But sorry, I always forget that it's either Mumu or Ivern. But honestly, I would not be surprised about the Night Harvester. He also went Medjai's and Deathcath in that game. Provided some really, really big shields, so I would not be surprised if it's not. Actually, wait, that's Ivern's support instead of Seraphine.
Mm-hmm.
But that's certainly going to be interesting. I honestly expected the Seraphine out bot lane. They're such a strong bot lane with all the slows. Even though they're into Morgana, I think that would have been decent for them because Morgana can only black shield one person.
That is true. However, I do think with that the Misfortune ult, if she's able to get it off because of that black shield, it will tear through some of that bot lane. However, I do think that the Ivern Ashe lane is going to be relatively passive, but also very, very hard to kill, even with that potential right there.
And yeah, and going off something earlier, you still have Daisy when Ivern reaches 6, so... And if you... Honestly, I don't know if they're going to do it, but if they let Ivern, after level 5, get some of those buffs, just a free handout buff, I doubt it, since he is support, though. But on the side of KG, they've been looking good.
Yeah. Now, surprisingly enough, the Ivern support, I actually think I would prefer to have an Ivern support if I'm playing on the opposite side of the map, if I'm playing on red side.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, because on blue side, the way they are right now, they get the red buff onto Ivern whenever he hits, I think it's like level 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally think Ivern would benefit more from the, especially in a lane matchup like this, where they're not able to play as aggressive for risk of getting traded in on. More beneficial to have that blue buff.
Definitely. And what do you expect to see on the side of KG here, Ryan?
Looking at their team, I expect to see very strong aggression. Every single one of their lanes, they want to win. I mean, even their jungler wants to sit there and gank lanes very quickly. Nunu will clear and just snowball into a lane whenever he gets a chance. He can take objectives. Exactly. uh, we got Ergot top lane. That's always an aggressive top laner. It's got that, he's ranged technically. He's a little bit longer than the melee champions, and he always wants to, he's got those executes in it. Syndra also usually takes like electrocute, wants to like one-shot burst people. And Misfortune Morgana, that's just an engage, snare someone. And, usually I see like press the attack on Misfortune, and they just want to do as much damage as they can in those trades. I definitely think that KG Baron is looking to just play aggressive and just shut down Zenigma Shadowfire as quickly as possible.
And well, on the topic, even though they have the Malphite in the Amumu who would like to scale up with some armor, they have side of KG Baron, the Syndra, to absolutely decimate Malphite's HP bar. Because even though he built all that armor, it ain't stopping Syndra.
Yeah, that is true. Syndra's burst will get through it, and I definitely think that they're going to have to build a decent chunk of MR, not even just for like the Syndra, but I mean, Nunu does a little bit, Morgana's going to do a little bit, so they can't just build that solid armor, which would be nice if the enemy drafted a little bit more AD into their team.
You can be a little bit forgiving with that with just the Morgana and the Nunu, but Syndra is going to be a very big hassle for those more armor champions. But they have shielding with Ivern and Seraphine, so maybe that will help on the side of Shadowfire here.
We shall see. We shall see. Looks like we're coming up on that spectator delay, so we're going to be getting into the game pretty quickly, and we'll see what these teams have to offer for us.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
looking here, runes seem to be normal. A lot of sorcery for the main rune on the side of KG Baron here. We got 2 phase rushes, an Airy, and a Comet. The only one that doesn't have any sort of sorcery in their runes is the Ergot. It seems normal. Oh, we have a Comet, Conqueror, Phase Rush, Lethal Tempo, and Guardian on the side of Shadowfire. Everyone using the new Elderwood Ivern skin, I think it looks good. But that's just me.
I think it looks kind of terrifying for our friendly tree-hugging friend, but,
It definitely looks like that free Volibear skin that came out.
All right, now we're just looking to get caught up here, because for whatever reason, I'm not through the loading screen yet.
And that's why
All right. Well, clearly, Ansem has a better computer. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm at 10.
all right. And we're off. Going to be already pings going down on the side of Shadowfire here. It looks like someone will be going for that tri-bush, but looking at it, it just seems that they want to 5-man.
It does look like we're going for that 5 point from both teams. No one looking to be too aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Though no one in the mid lane, so no one in the mid lane to see the Amumu there. And looks like a normal 5-point from both teams. A little bit weird on the side of KG Baron since no one's in the mid lane. There's 3 people up in the red side jungle, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I do find it interesting that the Misfortune is starting with a tier.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, looking at these items here, all of them seem really normal, except for the tier of Misfortune. You would most likely want one of the Doran's blades, or if the matchup depends on it, a Doran's shield.
Now this is kind of directed towards Ansem, but is KG Baron's acronym supposed to be RAV? All right, well, I'll get that fixed, maybe. We got the leashes going on. The leash for
Well, the leash for the side of Shadowfire seems to be a bit awkward since you have the Ivern who cannot attack the buff.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah. Because everyone wants to go. Oh, we got a little scuffle in the top
we got
lane
Ergot
right
going in for a trade, getting a few of those leg procs off on Malphite. Parking plus the attack. You know, I'm just gonna go with it. Plus the attack and half healthing Malphite level 1 here.
Ergot definitely does like the early trades into most matchups, not a matchup like a Renekton or a Darius though. But that seemed to be a win for the Ergot there. We got all the other lanes taking trades. When definitely the bad trades by the Misfortune's Q there.
Yeah, Ashe not playing much around those minions right now. Got half health pretty quickly by a few Misfortune's Qs there, critting her. I think she's got hit another one.
Actually, something I noticed on the side of Shadowfire here is that the Ivern support did not go for something like a Spell Thief. He went for more of a Targon's.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. Like, as we said before, they're wanting to play more aggressive lane. Seraphine just getting knocked into tower by the Nunu and Syndra here. Ashe getting snared, getting some more poke on. Some few scuffles. Blowing some summoner spells. Seraphine's flash is down. Ashe's heal down. Morgana's flash is down as well.
Wouldn't have had to blown the heal if it wasn't for Ashe having to tank that Morgana Q there, that Morgana snare. Seems Nunu is invading the blue side for the Amumu though, taking the blue buff with Ergot and going for the top scuttle there. But all in all,
no.
Seraphine also blowing her TP into the mid lane. Nunu going back into the blue side. Will he be caught out by the Amumu?
Amumu knocked up, getting eaten by Nunu. I think Nunu's just going to outdamage this Amumu and keep him alive, but Malphite is coming in. Malphite's going to hit him with the Q, but he has the Scuttle Crab speed boost. Seraphine moving up. And Nunu is going to go down for first blood with the Seraphine rotation. Ergot now in trouble. Malphite just keeping him slowed. If Amumu lands that stun, it might be over for him. Ergot flashes and still goes down to the Amumu stun.
Good play by the side of Shadowfire, Malphite, and Seraphine, roaming when they needed to. Sadly, Ergot and Syndra could not really roam as well as those two, since Nunu was so far out of their reach. And I respect the Ergot flash. Might not have needed it since probably was going to fall anyways, but I respect the hustle.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there was just a slight lack of communication, which is why Seraphine was able to rotate, and even Malphite make it before Ergot was.
Definitely, and we have drag coming up in quite a bit here. Drag's already up. Bot lane is recalling though. Could be a chance for Amumu to go down towards the dragon and take it.
He very well could, but he does have to keep an eye on Nunu, the champion that basically has 2 smites. It is very risky to take something like that without prior knowledge of where he's at.
Oh yeah, looking at what Malphite has right now, the kill on the Nunu did give him the blue buff, really good for when trying to poke with his Qs, while also having Corrupting Pot and Biscuit. But decided to go for the plated steel Greaves first item. really good into champion like Ergot.
It does make his laning phase a little easier, making his trades more valuable. We got a Nunu snowballing him to top lane, but he's going to be seen by that pink ward. And he looks like he's just going to get out scot-free.
Definitely here. And looking on the farm side, Malphite sadly being out CS by Ergot, but what can you do? You're a Malphite lane. Can't really farm that completely that well.
And
Ash
as we
really,
said, as we said before, though, we had the Nunu being seen top lane, so that means the Amumu is going for that dragon. Morgana roaming up and sees them doing it, though. This could get risky very quickly.
Seraphine covering the Amumu, but it looks like she will be pinned between.
So we got a fight. Seraphine ult hitting Misfortune and Morgana. They're taking a lot of damage. Red team gets the dragon. Flash comes out with Misfortune. Seraphine is going to go down to the Nunu and Amumu as well. Fantastic trade for KG Baron.
Fantastic trade. You can see what the side of Shadowfire here was going for. They saw the Nunu top, so decided to go for Dragon, but he can cross the map quite well with that snowball. And also, Nunu basically having 2 smites with his Q and his own smite, so unless you're really good at hitting them, you have to watch out for trying to steal those dragons.
Amumu's going in on the Nunu with the Q as he was taking his Raptors, staying in W range. That Chomp just keeping him alive there. Ergot and Malphite fighting, but the Ergot lands the ultimate to kill the Malphite. Nunu now having to fight Seraphine and the Amumu, but flashes to get out.
Good trades over on the side of KG in the top lane. Sadly for Malphite, his E does not slow the auto attack of Ergot's W, unlike it does for most champions, which he's really good into.
Malphite with no summoners coming into Ergot with the ultimate, who overstayed his welcome and gonna go back down for the trade-off. This does mean though Malphite has no summoners for a little while.
I personally don't know this, but it looked like even without Ivern's help, that they still got the second red buff for the side of Shadowfire here after Ivern got 5. But,
it looks like both junglers are hanging around the bottom side of the map. I'm not quite sure about Amumu, but Nunu has some camps to clear. Amumu looks like he's looking towards mid lane.
Syndra has to be careful here, though Amumu is not level 6, so won't have as much CC, but Seraphine almost having her ult and then her double snare with her E.
Amumu going in, getting stunned and missing the Q. The gank has absolutely nothing. Just a little bit of poke damage from Seraphine.
Yeah, it just looks like we're still focused on mid lane right now, but looking at the CS difference, not 4 CS difference here in the top lane. Bot lane try to go for something with the Nunu, but minions block his snowball. 20 CS difference between the junglers. So, you know, the CS is mixed between both teams right now.
I do agree. However, it does seem like Shadowfire is relatively down on the CS. Gold values for each of the players. I mean, even with the CS down for the Amumu, he's only down like 200 gold, 150, somewhere around that range. So he's not, the junglers really aren't hurting that bad. But if you look at bot lane where there's like a 20 CS gap almost, there's a 700 gold lead on Misfortune compared to the Ashe.
Oh.
We got a scuffle out from Nunu and Amumu with Seraphine rotating in. Seraphine coming in with the ultimate, getting a double Q off. Nunu trying to proc his ultimate, but just dies. Amumu going in on the Syndra. And I don't think he has enough to get the Syndra, but he's going to give her a love tap under tower there.
Sadly, that fight there, Syndra had no mana, so couldn't go for like an ult combo. Ergot going to be caught out here.
Ergot getting caught out by the Amumu and Malphite. They are going in, using all the ultimates they can from the Malphite, getting the double Q from Seraphine and going down to the Malphite Q.
Definitely what you like to see on the side of Shadowfire here. So, always catching out that top lane when he's trying to roam, or catching out both the jungler and the mid laner. They didn't get the mid laner, but had to make her back. Also, a little scuffle down in the bot side here. But looking at the gold differences for bot side, yeah, AD carry having a 700 gold difference, but the support's actually very, very close in gold with a almost 100 gold difference.
So fortunately for the supports, they don't have to worry about as much of farming. The only difference that's really here is the fact that the reason why the gold is actually the same is because Ivern is up almost 200 gold on the Morgana for the support quests.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have more wards for the side of Shadowfire in the bot lane as of right now because not Malphite. Ivern has completed his first support quest, and Morgana still needs a good solid 200 more gold.
Looking at the gold for top lane here, after that Ergot roamed, it's a 1k gold lead for the side of Malphite, and he looks like he's going to be going for a Bomby Cinder item. Could be a Sunfire, could be a Frostfire, or the juicy Chem Tank. Don't really see that much on Malphite, but seems he is ahead right now in gold and in CS, which will be hard for the Ergot if he starts stacking the armor.
Oh, we got an engage on a Mumu on the bot lane. Both junglers are here. Nunu coming out with the ultimate. Ivern placing his ultimate. Absolute Zero almost killing everybody. Ashe going down to the Nunu. A Mumu finally ulting with Ignite on top of him. A TP coming in from the top lane, or mid lane. Seraphine blowing her ult there, killing Morgana. Malphite going in on the Ergot under tower, having to flash away after that. Syndra is slowly rotating down. Let's see if they re-engage on this one here.
Seems they do not see the Syndra coming in, though. It's probably too late for the side of Shadowfire here.
So she goes in, stuns the Ivern. He does a few auto attacks. Finally ults the Ivern. He's still alive, lasting a few more autos before going down to Syndra. Seraphine getting caught out now between Nunu and Syndra, trying to run to her tower, but going to get snared by the Nunu W and die to the Syndra Q.
And while that went on, Ergot actually shut down the Malphite here, made his gold lead a little bit, made his gold a little bit closer. Still 600 in the side of Malphite, but yeah. Going back to that fight bot lane, it seemed they all stood in the Nunu ult and took a lot of damage. If they didn't do that, probably could have won the fight. Seems Rift Herald is going to be sent down here in the bot side, getting some plates for Mumu. Sadly, it doesn't look like Ashe got any.
Yeah, she needed to get an auto on that tower or something if she wanted to get some gold, but that does put a lot of money in Mumu's pockets. He is still like 400 gold behind on that Nunu, though.
So it would have been really beneficial for the Ashe to get even an auto on that tower for the plate gold. But looking at what's completed here, the Bramble Vest for the Malphite, really good for Ergot. Looks like Ergot's going to go for a Gore Drinker, I believe. It's what build out the whip and the Phage here. A Nunu and Misfortune completing their first item with the Sunfire and the Mana Immune, as well as Seraphine also completing her Leandre's.
Leandre's is personally a very nice item, especially when you have stuff like these tanks like Nunu, or even just people that are relatively tanky, like the Ergot's going to be. Because it'll just melt through that HP. It looks like we're getting a scuffle in the top lane. Some bad trades for that Ergot.
Sadly, after
ulted in by Malphite and just dies under tower using flash right as the auto takes him down.
Sadly for Ergot here, Malphite has just a little bit too much armor, and the Bramble Vest counters his W quite a bit. So taking those trades actually is worse for the Ergot than trying to bring down the Malphite's HP a little bit. Probably a gank.
Seraphine trying to go aggressive, but missing on the ultimate. Getting hit, stunned by the Syndra. Nunu comes in to finish him off with the Syndra's help.
Definitely good roam here by the Nunu. And Seraphine tried so hard to kill the Syndra, but Syndra dodged the ultimate, and Nunu capitalized on the weakness of having no E nor ult for the Seraphine there.
Syndra seems to be stuck with the Malphite right there. Takes the enemy blue buff with Nunu. Looks like they're just going to do the wraparound and get away from that Malphite, though.
Definitely. See, they're converging back on top lane, making sure their people are safe. So bot lane's going to the normal, try to farm it out. Gold leads, still a 1k gold lead on the side of MF here. Almost a 1k gold lead for the side of Malphite. Mid lane, only 100 gold down. It's a lot closer than people may think. And junglers here, an 800 gold lead for the side of Nunu.
I mean, yeah. As far as golds go in the games have been trading fairly evenly on each side. I mean, it's 8 kills to 9 kills. There's only a 500 gold lead, 450, somewhere around that range in the favor of Baron. Mid laners just kind of clearing the waves.
And also notice that both teams both have one dragon, Mountain Drake on the side of Shadowfire and Cloud Drake on the side of KG Baron. Both can use it. Mountain Drake makes Amumu and Malphite a bit more tankier, as well as just everyone else on the team. The Cloud Drake ult CDR is always nice to have you, even if it's not a soul.
Yeah, I do have to ask you though. The soul is going to be an Ocean Drake here. Which team do you think will use an Ocean Drake better?
I think that the side of Shadowfire will use it better for...
Seraphine getting caught out trying to clear ward, but ults the Syndra into a Malphite ultimate, but she gets pulled in by the Ergot ult. A 1-for-1 trade where both mid laners die to the top laners.
Definitely say should have been moving around, so it was a lot harder to get the Ergot's ult.
Oh, Amumu going in on the Ergot. Nunu popping his ultimate. Ergot barely any HP, going around, knocking up the Amumu, but going down to the Malphite. Nunu now alone, trying to get that Rift Herald, and flashes the wall to get away with the Rift Herald.
Sadly, it's hard to see when doing spectating, but yes, KG Baron did end up getting the Rift Herald and Nunu living, but sadly Ergot did go down to the force of Malphite and Amumu. Also saw an Ashe arrow, if you didn't see, go up towards that fight.
I did not see that, actually. Oh, Misfortune ult coming out on the Ashe. Ashe blowing both summoners to survive it.
And Misfortune actually completed her Manamune pretty early here, 18 minutes. So
looks like she's going for a collector after that. Amumu going for the Rift Herald, but getting caught between a Nunu and a Syndra. Syndra going in for the ultimate. We're getting a bunch of damage. Amumu ult and flash gets him out of there with barely any HP. This does give the advantage to KG Baron for the Dragon Pit. We'll see if they contest this still.
Ergot did TP down to help with the dragon, and they don't have the big Amumu ult for it either, so it looks like they're just going to give it up.
Yep.
And first Ocean Drake going for the side of KG Baron here. So going back to a question earlier, who I think would be better with an Ocean Soul, I personally do not know. It'll keep the side of KG Baron alive for a moment, but with all the support that Shadowfire has, it could
ulting the Ergot going in. Seraphine ult coming down on the Ergot. Amumu stunning. Ergot just not getting the chance to move, but pops the shield, barely an HP, but goes down to that Amumu.
And then also seeing this little scuffle in the bot lane with the Rift Herald as well. Getting the Rift Herald so it won't get its second charge off. But I will say, for this Amumu player, he has a few ults which do save his life, as well as the life of his teammates for a while, but sometimes it is poorly timed with objectives. Looks like it's going pretty calm now. Nunu taking the red buff for the side of Shadowfire here. Looks like they're going to be taking the top turret, at least the top wave. Trying to pressure that top turret a little bit more. Mid lane is going how you probably expect. Then little a little just brief period of calmness here, no fights, no really objective control. So the next big objective is going to be Baron if both teams see fit.
Looks like we're just trading off buffs right now. A lot of resets going on at the moment. Syndra looks like she's going into her horizon focus pretty quickly here. We got Eclipse. I actually thought that she was going to buy a Collector after that, but Misfortune went into Eclipse.
It was probably better for her that she decided to go with the Mythic first. Don't want to hold off that Mythic for too long, especially since it is a big power spike. And Thornmail actually coming in from the Malphite here. It's going to make it so when Misfortune attacks him, he gets the grievous wounds, but it's also going to be really good into Ergot here since his primary source of damage is that W. Since he is level 9, he will have it indefinitely.
It is actually hard for Ergot to engage, but Nunu comes in with a snowball, and the engage goes into Malphite. Malphite tries to flash away, ults to cancel the Nunu ultimate, but Amumu comes top. Malphite goes down. Amumu's just a little too late. Ult coming out from Amumu, but the Gore Trinker just keeping Ergot alive. Ergot going down to the global Ashe ultimate. Nunu now just trying to fight Amumu, seeing what he can do, but they're two tanks. It's going to take a lot to kill either of them. Oh, Seraphine on the Morgana, but it's going to just poke her down a little bit. Morgana flashes, killing the Ashe into the red pit. Morgana with barely any HP goes down to the Seraphine Q.
Definitely was out of position there by the Ashe. And if you did not hear it, I did hear the audio cue for the Ergot ultimate, but it was just too late. Could not snag the Malphite kill. Even though he did end up dying later. It's just that fear would have helped with the Amumu fight. So this looks like pretty decent minion trading here in the mid lane. Both top lanes going back top. Misfortune going back bottom or to this Ivern as you can see him. But Amumu is covering for him behind at the Raptor camp.
Yeah, Ivern over there Ivern doesn't have a full item yet. I think he's the only person in the game without a mythic right now. I do believe he's going for that Imperial Mantade as well.
Mm-hmm. Which is actually pretty concerning since he is more gold up on this Morgana here. But looking at items, gold leads, not a pretty big gold lead, in fact, 300 gold lead on the side of KG. And looks like every tank here is going for that Thornmail, that Bramble Vest.
Yeah, Sunfire and Thornmail seem to be two very popular items this game. I do have to say, in regards to the slight gold lead for Ivern, why he doesn't actually have stuff. Oh, well, it looks like we're going to get an engage, and Ashe ultimate will stun. Seraphine ultimate onto the Misfortune. Misfortune flashes and heals to her death.
I like the...
Oh, Nunu going in on the Ivern. Ivern still having Daisy right there, though. Daisy taking that snare from Morgana. Nunu just munching on that Daisy, but Nunu's just taking so much poke. Ashe getting snared. Mumu going in, ulting to stun that Nunu and killing him. Now, I do have to say, as they take this dragon, I absolutely hate the fact that there's an Amumu on one team and a Nunu on the other. Because I cannot keep the names straight.
It's either a Nunu or just Nunu. So they sound so similar. Yes, I can definitely tell when the frustration's coming, but a nice, well-timed ultimate on the side of Shadowfire here. I actually noticed that Amumu went in for on that black shield and got it off right as the Ashe ultimate was going to hit the MF.
So yeah, what actually happened is the stun from the Amumu didn't do anything. It just did some damage to the black shield, but it did enough for the Ashe ultimate to actually pop that black shield and stun the Misfortune. Really unfortunate for the Misfortune, but a good play. And a Malphite ult coming down on the Misfortune. Instantly dead. A good Seraphine ult on 3 people, killing the Ergot and running down the Morgana. Syndra having to flash away. Ashe ultimate coming straight down mid lane, but missing that Syndra.
I will say, even though Seraphine had it pointed at her Malphite, that the Ergot kind of misplayed there. He went in on the Seraphine ult when it could have just barely not clipped him. He decided to E in and make it so it would extend to his teammates.
Yeah, Seraphine, just such a fantastic ultimate for a champion. Very wide, very long range, pretty long CC, forces them to walk towards you on top of it. Honestly, very good for a team fight ultimate. New snowballing towards the Malphite, but I don't think he's going to actually go for this.
At least put some damage on that Malphite shield, but he is a tank after all. But no MR on the side of Malphite here, except for that Sunfire, or the part of Sunfire that is the MR.
For the time being, that is probably okay. Since Misfortune is still getting the hang of things, and he's mainly trying to find the Ergot. Oh, we got a snowball coming in, but looks like he's gonna miss it.
I do like the attempt there by the Nunu, but Seraphine just saw it coming and used her empowered W to get enough movement speed out. But yeah, I will say though, later in this game, it would be beneficial for them.
Oh, we got a Seraphine ultimate comboing the Syndra, and the passive from the auto attack just kills her. I'm gonna be honest, I have not seen a Seraphine be able to 100 to 0 some people before. Usually I just see them as utility mages in the mid lane, but just watching her 100 to 0 that Syndra is kind of terrifying. Amumu getting snared, but hits his stun on the Morgana. Morgana having to flash away. Amumu just bloodthirsty for her. Turret dives and kills her. The Misfortune ult coming out to clear the wave and try to get the team off of Nunu.
Shadowfire, they are playing this really well timing their CC for the Morgana's Black Shield. And even though, yeah, Morgana isn't going to get slowed by the Ashe arrows, they're still going to hurt. She is building Kraken Slayer with a Runeans. So she will still hurt the Morgana, even though she will not be slowed.
She does have some good damage.
Looking at the items here, the actually first item is not an Imperial Mandate for the Ivern. It is a Mikhail's Blessing here.
Man, what was the old name for this item?
I have no idea.
It was Mikhail something, and that's just going over my head right now, and I can't think of it.
But it seems that people are starting to finish their either second or third item here. Malphite looking to go for probably the Adaptive Helm, more MR, getting the Spirit Visage on the Amumu, as the Ergot has also finished his Black Cleaver.
Misfortune on her own, getting hit by the stun from Amumu, and the Ashe ult hitting Ergot. Malphite ult hitting both of them. Ergot trying to survive as Misfortune falls. Flashes into the Ashe, but just does not have enough to do any damage. The ult coming on to Syndra, getting snared by that Seraphine. Seraphine trying to kill her and trying to finish her off, but she is too fast with that phase rush and gets away.
Poorly timed by the Ergot there to be in that lane when he was, because the AoE, because the stun from the Ashe ult did actually hit the MF, which caused the Amumu to be able to hit her. But it just hit the Ergot, so the AoE part of the stun was just enough. And here we have Shadowfire taking Baron here.
Looks like BG Baron, or yeah, KG Baron is looking to try and steal that Ocean Drake, but decides against it and backs off.
Now, what would you do if you were the side of KG Baron here?
If I was the side of KG Baron, I actually think KG Baron has a fantastically strong team lineup. I do not think that they're completely out of this game yet. They need to stay away from that Malphite, though. They as far away as possible. Ah, I figured it out. It's Mikhail's Crucible. God told me.
Yes, we are currently in contact with God right now, telling us some things like that item name, but definitely, and I will say the two primary targets they want to watch out for is the Amumu and the Malphite. Amumu with that AoE ultimate and Malphite, they just don't want to stack up for either of them. But as well as the Seraphine here, her ultimates have been pretty good. Mostly picking them off, but also landing.
Ulting the Misfortune, Black Shield coming up. Misfortune CC'd, but flashes away from that ultimate. Gets her ultimate off on the Amumu alone. Amumu taking some damage as Syndra goes down, but MF going down to the Malphite on the back line. Ergot ults the Amumu, praying to pull him in, but it is just not enough and goes down.
Actually, Amumu over here getting the Triumph. If he didn't have Triumph, when the ult hit, he would have gotten the Ergot's suppression pull in off. But also another part of it is Morgana was actually solo killed by the Ivern on the side, so she could not do much. But I will say, well played by the side of Shadow Fiend here, timing their ultimates really well. Seraphine, Amumu, Malphite, all well timed. Hey.
Morgana just trying to protect the base, flashes away, but it looks like they are not able to defend, get past that Amumu, and first game goes to Shadowfire. Definitely
well played by them. Well played in the team fight, well played in the solo lanes. Just got to work more when on the side of KG Baron here. I do not recommend another Ergot into the Malphite pick unless you plan on camping him.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, looking at this game, I personally think that if they wanted to get rid of anybody, I definitely think that they need to get rid of the Seraphine and they need to get rid of the Malphite. Those two champions were just so oppressive during that game. Seraphine's ultimates were easily catch a lot of people out, and Malphite was just winning lane. He constantly just killed Ergot. He was rotating faster. Malphite was killing him. So we're going to take a quick intermission before game 2, and we'll be back in a few.
Holy hell. welcome back. The draft started a little bit without us, but hey, it's okay. We're already getting all the bans here from the side of both teams. Jin Darius Kaius on the side of KG Baron and Echo Zach, and the Seraphine ban from the side of Zenigma Shadowfire. Yeah, def- well, they definitely saw the potential of the Seraphine, but KG Baron actually getting their Shen in the first game, or second game here. It's banned the first game. But Misfortune Galio on the side of Enigma Shadowfire. Oh, a Yasuo here. First time I've seen Yasuo in Steel for a while, actually. Definitely like to see this Yasuo, but what are your thoughts here while we're going through the bans, Ryan?
Personally, I like Yasuo's more successful brother, Yon. And that's totally not because I can play Yon and not Yasuo. But I do like their team. However, with the way they're signed up right now, they basically only have AD, so they're gonna have to draft some sort of AP unless they want to struggle against tanks that the Zenigma might end up drafting up over here.
Unless they want to struggle against another Malphite, but even worse. Oh, Mordekaiser versus Shen here. I like this matchup for the Mordekaiser, but that is just me. What do you think?
I don't play top lane, but as far as the 1v1 matchup goes, I think Mordekaiser wins the 1v1 matchup. However, Shen necessarily doesn't want to actually be in the 1v1 matchup. He wants to be split pushing. He wants to force Mordekaiser out of lane. He's gonna have probably TP. He's gonna have his ultimate when he hits level 6. He's going to have that global pressure. And so I think his goal is probably to just not fight the Mordekaiser for the most part of the game, and then try to transition that into kills or gold leads in other lanes.
Looking at the bans here, we get Fiddlesticks and Morgana from the side of Enigma Shadowfire here. Seeing the potential of the Morgana, I didn't really think it helped all too much here. But also we're getting Yamumu and Gramis from the side of KG Baron. Saw the potential of the Mumu. Its AoE stuns were really good. Surprised as Enigma banned the Shadowfire, so they probably don't want KG Baron to first pick it, so. And we're getting Volibear and another Ivern from KG Baron. But Volibear on the side of Shadowfire here, probably in the jungle. Would be surprised if it was support.
I do like the Morgana ban here though, because it keeps KGB from using the spell shield to block stuff such as that Mordekaiser ultimate and just causing it to go on cooldown without anything happening.
Oh, definitely. Looks like we might have a Galio support in this game, but going in for the last picks here, Leona and Cassiopeia. KGB is more AD focused here, which will probably be a problem if Volibear, Mordekaiser, or even Galio start stacking up that armor, but they will have some damage with Ivern, especially if he goes that Night Harvester Ivern, which we've been hyping up for like a while.
That is true. It's not as detrimental this game because they can just go that Imperial Mandate Ash and run it as a second support with Ivern. As far as like a healing support would go, and use that Yasuo as the main carry. The plus side to Yasuo is if he lands that ultimate, he does get some armor pen.
Though I will say for the comp of KGB, the Yasuo is a bit weird here since the only knockup that they have is Yasuo's Q. While on the side of Shadowfire here, you would want a Yasuo more since you have like Mordekaiser's E and Galio's ultimate.
To go back to that Yasuo ultimate, as far as KG Baron's team is concerned, Yasuo is not the only one. Ivern's Daisy does knock up in a line, so he can ult off of Daisy doing it. Oh,
I definitely forgot that Daisy can knock up, since most of the time I see Daisy not really hit that knockup. I see the little line of rocks going for someone, but it's not really hitting the mark. But we're just going into draft phase here. client-side draft phase here. So honestly, Ryan, what do you think for both teams? What do you think their win conditions are, and what to look out for?
So I think it's kind of interesting because KG Baron kind of has a similar team comp to what Zenigma Shadowfire had last game, except instead of sending an extra support into the mid lane, they sent their main carry into the mid lane. I'm not saying that, Ashe is definitely going to go the Imperial Mandate build. She could do something very similar to last game and have that Kraken Slayer. But I definitely feel like KG Baron is protect the Yasuo, protect the Ashe if Ashe is going the Kraken Slayer. On the other side, Zenigma, they kind of took a 180 on what they did as well. They took the MF this time with the Galio support. They want to be aggro in the bot lane this time. They don't want to be pushed back like they were when they played Ashe and Ivern. They've got that Mordekaiser top to try and fight people compared to the Malphite they had last time. Like, their team is just so much more aggressive compared to what they had in the last game. It feels like both teams has just done like a swap.
Mm-hmm. I will say that their top laner actually did get one of his champions here with the Mordekaiser.
We have a message in chat here that I'm kind of curious about. When Derpmaster, I think that's his name, when you say the Galio punch can trigger the Yasuo art, do you mean like his own casting of the E will displace himself and allow Yasuo to ult off of it? Or am I just like insane? Okay, I'm just reading too much.
When I said the Galio punch, I meant the punch down from his own ultimate. When he lands the Galio ult.
Okay, so I'm just completely misinterpreting what somebody put in chat.
You are running way too much into it. But honestly, I do like the Cassio pick here from the side of Zenigma Shadowfire. Will lock down people like the Ashe, like the Yasuo, especially the Yasuo who likes to dash around because of minions. So yeah, I personally think that Zenigma Shadowfire will bring this to a 2-0, but there's definitely the possibility that KG Baron will bring it to a 1-1.
You can go for Zenigma here. I actually think KG Baron has a pretty good team comp, a way to set themselves up and get ahead here. I personally think Yasuo and Cassiopeia is very good, so I'm going to vote for them.
But yeah. Honestly, I think in terms of team fights, I really think it could go either way. Zenigma looks like it has a little bit more with MF ult, Galio ult, and Cassiopeia ult, while KG Baron really only has like Yasuo ult and Leona ult for team fights. They seem to be more of a pick-off comp and to save people from being picked off with the Shen and the Leona here. So what do you think based on that? Oh. It looks like my fellow caster is going to be right back for a few seconds. So hopefully everyone is having a good day, having a good Saturday. Hopefully everyone is feeling okay with COVID while everything is going down. But honestly, my own personal opinion, I still like the Ivern pick. I'm more of the top laner guy, so Shen, Mordekaiser, Volibear. I love seeing those champions. Do not, personally, also mixed bag here. And Stacy knockup's really the only knockup he can work off of other than his own Q, so looks like they'll go more for a pick comp instead of a team fight comp. And Zenigma Shadowfire wants to go for the more of the team fight instead of the pick off, but they can still pick off with a Volibear Cassiopeia combo. Also with the Volibear dives, they can dive extremely well. So yeah.
Nature decided to give me the middle finger.
You left me, you left me alone.
Yeah, I know that I apologize. I did not have control of that.
But as I tried to ask you, based on the fact that KGB looks more of a one to pick and save their own pick comps with the Shen here, what do you think about it? Do you think they'll actually get the picks, or do you think Zenigma Shadowfire will pick them off?
So I think KG Baron wants to pick off people. They've got the Ashe ultimate. They got a Leona. Yasuo can easily 1v1 duel people. You've got Ivern to keep people alive. I don't know how much the Shen ultimate's going to be used though. In that case.
Am I good to talk? Alright. So.
All right. So going back to the pick, I definitely feel like KG Baron is here for the pick comp, and Zenigma Shadowfire is here to just team fight and see what they can get out of it. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Definitely here. And it looks like we're already getting pings out. Looks like they might go for just another 5-point here for both teams. But will be interesting to see what happens in this game. Looking at the first buys, Ashe going for the tier, so it looks like it will be the mandate build, unless you want to go Man Immune first instead of a Kraken Slayer, which sounds weird. But looks like everything is normal on the side of both teams item wise here. Looks like we will have the Ivern checking out. Oh, looks like there will be a ward on the red side here for KGB getting onto Nigram's red side.
You know, I don't play much top lane. Probably actually my worst role. So, and I know you've at least played both of these champions quite a bit. Would you take like a Doran Shield into the Shen as Mordekaiser? To me, it feels like Mordekaiser wants to win that lane matchup. So I feel like he would have started something more aggressive, or even the corrupting potion. Or do you agree with what he's done?
I will say I agree here, even though it may seem like Doran's shield might not be the best here. Shen, he does a lot of damage early, especially with his Qs. If he went for them first, and the grass proc as well on them. So Doran's shield is not a bad pick here. Definitely go something like a Doran's ring for the extra sustain, since Mordekaiser does not have mana. But I will say, looking at the bot lane here, Miss MF actually decided to go for the cleanse, while the Galio has the heal.
Yeah, the cleanse will help her get away from the Leona and possibly the Ivern if he comes to gank. That does kind of bode them a little worse in the fact of they don't have like the ignite or exhaust to
We're
compensate.
about to have something come up here.
Oh, we got Volibear trying to engage a 2v1 with Yasuo and Ivern here. He didn't see him. First blood will go to Yasuo.
Honestly, that is real unfortunate from Shadowfire here. They did see the Ivern walking down from the mid lane. Looks like we're getting a little bit of just trading from the top laners here.
Looks like a good fight coming out. They're both going to drop to about 300 HP. Shen going back to try and get a grass proc. Gets the shield off, but it just looks like Mordekaiser damage is too much for Shen to sustain.
Sadly, he let Mordekaiser keep up that passive with auto attacks. And
And on top of the Conqueror, which was fully stacked by that time, was able to sustain him trying to trade back in at that 300.
if he had the shield there, that would have been better for Mordecai there. But going back to the First Blood earlier, they saw Ivern gank mid, saw him walking back into his red side jungle. So I don't know why the Volibear stayed there. It seemed a bit out of term, but we also saw Leona walking up.
Maybe he saw Ivern was lower, or was just hoping that he would catch him over by Raptor buff while he was putting his buff down, which lowers his health anyway. So maybe he was just hoping to catch out the Ivern over there and just didn't see the Yasuo.
We got a jungler DC from the call here.
Looks like Berta28 has DC'd from their Discord, but not the game. Oh, he's disconnected from the game now too.
Well, it wouldn't be casual league without them. I see. Oh, would not be casual league without some technical difficulties. But
you should talk about yours with your computer crashing every 5 minutes.
Let's not talk about that. But honestly, I'm really glad it didn't right now though. But looking at what's been going on here, trading seems normal between all the lanes. But for Cassiopeia here, it's running a little bit under half mana here, while Yasuo doesn't have mana, he just has that little run bar for him for the shield. So what do you think about the Yasuo and Cassiopeia matchup here, since I think you've at least played into a Cassiopeia? I don't know if you have played her, and I know you have played Yasuo.
Oh, okay.
Alright, well we are going to go into a little bit of an intermission because of a pause time here. We're going a little intermission here because of a pause time. Do not fret, just seeing if people are okay technically.
Okay, so back to the Yasuo Cassiopeia matchup that they've got going on. So Yasuo has the plus side of the wind wall, which will negate most of Cassiopeia's major damage if she tries to really go in. Especially since she's going to have very low movement speed early on, it's hard for her to actually get around that wind wall without having to use the summoner spell, which can be very risky. Unfortunately for Yasuo, though, Cassiopeia has the grounding for the W, making it so she can't dash around. So the lane matchup is more or less a stalemate, because even the shield from Yasuo will protect from most of the damage that's coming in from Cassiopeia.
I will say here, not much of a bot laner. I know you played a bit of bot lane before you went to big lane, but what do you think about the MF Galio actually go there? They have Galio full shield and he only goes onto the MF,
so this is kind of an interesting matchup, because I think the 80 carries, Ash just wants to poke and sit back and farm from the range. She has that 600 auto range advantage. And Misfortune wants to fight. However, you've got those two aggressive supports to kind of stop each one of them from walking out the
looks like the Ivern did come back.
Yeah, we have a reconnect from the Ivern, but we still got the pause timer.
Jungle matchups here, Ivern and Volibear. Ivern most likely is going to take all of his points for Volibear to invade his
yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that the music's too loud.
Yeah. Seems the Ivern's still having disconnect issues.
We have reconnected and disconnected.
Hey, it's not League of Legends. One of those, maybe a month or a year. So, going back to the jungler matchup here, Volibear versus Ivern. I honestly am more favorable of the Ivern, at least a little bit later. The we'll say I do like the Volibear more of an early game skirmisher and more getting that level 6 because it seems to be, at least if you're not going for more of the tankier Volibear, seems to fall off a little bit versus a lot of the matchups.
Well, looks like we're getting a ready check coming in from the teams. So we'll be starting the games back here in a sec as soon as they undo the pause.
Definitely. Also, looking at the gold lead a little bit while we're waiting, it seems to be a 800 gold lead to the side of KGB. And we're back. Well, from the unpause. Looks like we're having, if we're looking at top lane, we're having a little bit of a little game physics bug here where the light from Mordekaiser's mace is is just not onto his Nightfall. And a little trade happening. Little trade happening in top lane. Shen having to back out while Volibear seems to be invading the Ivern's Gromp. The only camp that is in is the blue side. Getting some trade down here in the bot lane, but it seems to be normal. Farm it out. Don't really know if you answered my question about the Galio Leona thing in the bot lane.
Oh, so to continue about the Galio, so you've got Misfortune that wants to go in, and Ashe that kind of wants to poke from a distance, and so it's difficult for either of the engaged supports to really know when they need to go in, because if Leona goes in on Misfortune, Galio goes and jumps Ashe, and if a Galio goes to get Ashe, then Misfortune gets jumped by Leona. And so they have to look for these good trades, these good opportunities to go in. They have to be very careful when playing these aggressive supports into another aggressive support. Looks like Volibear is looking for something onto the Yasuo here. Oh, looks like he's charging in, getting the slow from his E, stunning Yasuo there. The Q from Cassio missing with the flash from Yasuo. Ivern coming in just in case as well.
Definitely good by the Ivern that he showed up when he did, but really having to make Yasuo flash for absolutely nothing is really good on the side of Zenigma. But going back on the bot lane thing, it seems Galio is more of a...
Oh, we got Mordekaiser trying to jump the Shen here, pulled him back. Shen already used his anti-auto attack thing, just getting smacked down by that passive in Q. Forced back to his tower.
Definitely a little bit harder for the Shen since Mordekaiser doesn't completely rely on the auto attacks. He just needs one and then can land 2 abilities for his passive. And it looks like they're starting to get their ultimates now, mid and top for Zenigma. Shadowfire has been gotten, but now Shen has his Stand United, which was definitely a big plus for the side of KGB here. Will be more shielding for picks here.
You got Volibear looking. Leona goes in on the Volibear, lands the Sun and Snare. Oh, the taunt coming in from Galio, allowing Misfortune to kill the Ashe almost instantly. Leona sticking herself in the pit, allowing for the double kill from Misfortune. Shen unable to ult in because of Mordekaiser's engage. Shen trying to get the taunt on Mordekaiser under tower and flashes away immediately. Gets some good damage on Mord, but is risking that summoner spell.
Definitely here. Flash taunt was a good idea, but sadly, Mordekaiser not CC'd enough under tower to get the kill. See the idea there. But going back on what happened during the fight, the Galio taunt barely seemed to clip the Ashe there. Also, Leona flashed out of it, was barely clipped again by the taunt. So, and both of them going down was really unfortunate there.
It was very good for the side of Zenigma Shadowfire, but the only thing that kind of has made a loss is they killed the bot lane, had both of their bot laners there with like full HP and had their jungler, but
Ivern had most of his HP down.
Yeah, and Ivern was fairly low, but KG Baron still took the dragon.
Yeah,
They came back a little after.
yeah, that was certainly weird. I know your jungler was very low because of the engage from KGB here, but why did you not go to dragon? It is beyond me.
Looks like we have an Ashe trying to get an ult on the Cassiopeia mid, but just kind of flies across the whole map, unfortunately. Those global shots are very tricky. You got to predict what people are going to be doing.
Looks like we're getting our either boots or first components of an item here on both teams. Looks like Mordekaiser is going to go for more of the Rift Maker side of things instead of like a Hex Tech Proto Belt or a Leandre's here. While Ivern has completed his, I believe it's Ionian boots, City, yeah, and Misfortune has completed her attack speed boots. Seems Volibear is going for probably a Chem Tank or a Sunfire here, or maybe even a Frostfire. But looking on the side of Yasuo, what do you think would be the best first item for him here against a Cassiopeia and just all around the team that they've brought out?
Honestly, just go for the Immortal Shield though. But it looks like Mordekaiser is ulting the Shen. Volibear is there, but Shen does not know. Comes out and immediately gets stunned by the Volibear, and Shen goes down.
Personally, I do not like what the Shen did here. He used his W way too early before it could even get onto him, so he didn't have all that auto attack dodging for against Mordekaiser here. But it seemed like it did not matter since the Volibear was there.
Oh, looks like Ivern is going in on Volibear with Yasuo, lands the Q. Yasuo quickly turning his attention over to the Mordekaiser, knocking up the Volibear with the ultimate and taking Volibear down. Conqueror putting in so much work as it's letting him just do so much damage to this Mordekaiser. The Ashe ultimate missing, but a Cassiopeia gets a two-man ultimate, taking down the Yasuo and trying to run down the Ivern. Gets snared by the Ivern, and it looks like this is the end of fight. But Cassiopeia flashes, and then Ivern flashes, and
there wasn't really a need for the flash there, but
I don't think either people need to flash. But you know, in the heat of the moment, you're sitting there, you just killed Yasuo, you're like, I'm gonna get this other guy. You know, it's so different in the heat of the moment than compared to watching these games.
I can understand the Ivern flash after Cassio's because Cassio could have her little area where you can't really move all too much up again. Forgot the ability's name, and it's like on the tip of my tongue, but
I don't know it.
Will say for that fight there, the double knockup because Yasuo just had free reign to do the Qs there, and no one really targeted the Daisy a little bit. So just double knockups coming from them. We'll say Volibear did try to escape, but not much fruit.
Oh, we got Mordekaiser going in on Shen, but it looks like Shen messes up his W a little bit, having some of it just start away from him. However, it does seem like the trade was fairly even.
Definitely, but you also got to remember Mordekaiser always has his shield. Looking like we're getting some trades in the mid lane.
We got Yasuo trying to do some damage to Cassiopeia.
Also taking a turret shot as well, so primarily an even trade. As I said, you still got to be careful with some things. Like Mordekaiser, when you trade in him, he still has his W, so he can still gain that HP or still keep it as a shield for the next trade.
Of course. And regarding that trade mid lane, it actually went in favor of Cassiopeia. Like, even though the HP bars ended even coming out with that turret shot, Cassiopeia does still have the red buff, meaning she was out-regioning the Yasuos.
Oh. Looks like we're going to be trading Rift Herald, Tier 4, and Infernal Drake. I wonder what soul it will be. Oh, it looks like it will be a Cloud Soul. Definitely good for both teams with the Stand United and the other ults coming from Ashe and Leona. But also good based on Mordekaiser ult being a low CD. And looks like we're going to have
Mordekaiser ulting the Ivern, but I don't know what's going to come of this. Ivern snaring the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is currently in 3 of them. Just doesn't look like much happened.
It looks like just to get it out, they're going to kill the Daisy, though. Which is not which is kind of a big thing for the side of KB here. They don't have the extra knockup for Yasuo, as well as just the tankiness of it.
Oh, Volibear going in, stunning the Yasuo. Yasuo being stuck on that MF ult without being able to do anything because of all the CC. Yasuo goes down.
Sadly for the Shen there, if Shen was able to get in off of that ult on Yasuo, would have been really good, but stands united, he barely missed the mark for how much Yasuo needed to tank there. Just too much damage.
I have a question for the Shen, and I'm pretty sure I know how this works, but you were talking about Cloud Soul being like, fantastic for like Shen and stuff like that, but the soul itself is just movement speed after the ultimate. Does the movement speed apply like immediately as he casts? So by the time he gets there, it does apply. Okay, it applies immediately. Okay, so the alt CDR is nice, the alt haste, but the actual soul itself is not that helpful for Shen.
The actual soul itself not too helpful. It's more helpful for someone like the Yasuo or the Leona or the Ashe there.
I'll actually argue against Yasuo because he has to sit there with the ultimate for a little while. Shen just getting beat up.
But he will still get some of the movement speed, even though he has to
have an
it's not
Ashe
a
ult
long
coming
step
top
from there.
lane with 3 people coming in. The Ashe ult does not hit. Looks like Mortis just gonna walk this one out.
And then on the side of Zenigma Shadowfire here, the Shadowfire, but but the ults for the Cloud Soul definitely better for them, since not many of them have to sit through it. Really only MF and Galio do. So the ult from Volibear for the extra movement speed, as well as tower diving, and then just the extra movement speed while you're in the death realm from Mordekaiser is definitely scary.
It's like with the bot lane recalling, looks like Zenigma is going to do a lot of damage to that bot lane tower, maybe even take it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the gold here, it looks more of a almost 4K gold lead for the side of Zenigma here. And then looking at the gold leads for the specific lanes, Mordekaiser has a 1,000 gold lead. And really
I was going to say MF has got to be up quite a bit. She's got 3 kills.
MF is up almost a 2K gold lead here. But other than that, most of the gold is really within the 100 range.
Oh, looks like Volibear found the Ashe going in. Ashe flashing out with the Galio coming in. The ult coming in from Volibear onto the Leona. Leona ult trying to get out, but Leona gets taken down by the Cassiopeia, who gets ulted by Ashe. And it looks like the fight is over here. A lot of pings. Yasuo is coming down. Maybe he's looking to re-engage this fight.
Will seem hard for the Yasuo here, since Daisy has died, so won't get the extra knockup there. And they're all wary of the Yasuo tornado. Cassiopeia, a great TP there to catch out.
Oh, Volibear coming in, taunts the Ashe. Yasuo goes in, ults the Volibear. Volibear is going to go down to the tower and Ivern. Cassiopeia trying to do some damage to Ashe, forcing the Shen ult. But it looks like Mordekaiser has canceled that from the top lane.
She looked like more of that Shen ult went onto the Yasuo here to the Ashe. But that Sands United was a bit unneeded at the time.
Oh, Yasuo trying to go in. Lands 3 people knocked up. Galio's going to go down to the... Oh, wait, Yasuo's going to go down first. Ivern going to kill the Yasuo, and Leona's going to kill the Misfortune. Trade did go in favor of KG Baron, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kills on the people that they wanted them to.
Still better for KG Baron there, but I would say it would be even better if it was the shutdown onto maybe the Ashe or the Yasuo.
Looks like Ashe is getting stuck between Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia flashes, gets the slow on. Ashe ults the Volibear. Not a great move because that's going to give Volibear's Q. Volibear landing Ash dying just before the Volberry, actually. Cassiopeia just taking down the Ash right there.
I will say there for that little scuffle down in the bot lane. In terms of ults being used, I would have liked it better if the Stand United wasn't for the Yasuo when no one was on him. It was more for that fight there.
I agree that would have been good, but in retrospect, on the other side of things, I personally think Mordekaiser should have just let the Shen ult finish. I think Mordekaiser would have been able to take top tower and get a lot of advantage off of that Shen ult, considering that it was kind of after the fight had finished and died down.
After the fight finished and died down, he would have had to go back top lane or try to stay for a fight. There ended up being one, but I don't know if the Shen would have been there if they let the ult go. As we saw, Team Shadowfire here got an ult.
We got a Cassiopeia coming out on Yasuo, stunning him just in time. And then we have Volibear ulting for the Ashe getting the MF ultimate and going down. Mid tower goes down as well.
Also, I will say for the side of
Leona's
here, as Leona's getting run down here, we'll say that was a very well timed ult on the side of the Volibear. Very not well timed on the side of the Ashe, because he was still unstoppable. Still unstoppable during his leap. Almost said unstoppable there. But yeah, he is unstoppable for as long as that leap lasts. So
that is true. And on top of it, you got to look at the Cassiopeia ult. She ulted like right as she got knocked up, so Yasuo was unable to actually get his ult off as well.
Yeah, definitely was good on all sides there. For the side of Zenigma, Shadowfire there, not really too wanting for the side of KGB. Don't really think Yasuo can 1v1 the Cassiopeia if she has ult and gets her poison onto him before. And then just let Mordekaiser just having free reign over top lane now.
It looks like Galio has disconnected from the game, and there is a pause.
Yep. It seems there have been a lot of technical issues on the side of both teams here. It also seems the Shen has been rather lagging for 6 minutes, but has not disconnected. So now, true. Well, now he has left the game.
Yeah, now Shen has left the game, but
Galio has returned. There's a lot of stuff going. A lot of technical stuff going, but I want to ask you, co-host, but now that things have settled down a little bit, who do you think is going to take their leads or come back from a deficit?
You know, honestly, looking at this with like a 5k gold lead, it's looking like Zenigma Shadowfire is having the advantage, but I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm still going to say KG Baron has a chance to pull this one out and make a comeback.
We get the Gale Force from Yasuo here. I honestly would have been better for Shield Bow, especially into the coffee thing. No boots on the Ashe. I was just about to get to that after the Gale Force on the Yasuo, but that's more enticing. Frostfire for Shen when you're against a team that's really only AD's focus is the MF here. When you have someone like a Mordekaiser or a Cassiopeia who have just so much AP damage.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to bring one thing up. You know, despite everything that's happening, these teams are still having a lot of fun. Me and the other host, Destiny, here, we can see the chat between the guys, and they've just been cracking jokes for the past 5 minutes about Ivern. Just, you know, wood jokes, log jokes, everything just going through. They're just having a good time, and really, that's what we're here to do. We're all here to have fun, play as 5. Okay, you know what? Same thing. They're both trees.
I will.
I know they can't hear you.
God is telling us that the jokes were about more Galio than the Ivern, but hey, still trees, and and it seemed the Ivern had more trouble logging on earlier, if you catch my drift. But I'm still surprised the Ashe has no boots at 20 minutes here. But looking at the Ivern, did not decide to go for the Night Harvester, even though he's 3-0 with more farm than the Volibear. He decided to go for the more safe route with the Moon Reaver and the Staff of Flowing Water.
Looks like we're coming back. And the Ashe does look like she's going the Mandate build. She does have that mirror.
Yep, it's just, you most likely would want the boots that it takes by now.
Yep. Oh, we got an Ashe ult coming down on the Cassiopeia. The Cassiopeia is going to ult. Galio's coming in, but I think Cassio's going to go down before the ult lands. Got a large taunt off from the Galio. Leona going down to the Misfortune, and Misfortune also killing the Shen. Mordekaiser and everybody on their team is going for Yasuo, chasing down Ashe now, who's found herself on the wrong side of the map. 3 kills going to that Misfortune.
Honestly, that fight, it looks so good in the side of Zenigma Shadow, or not on the side of KB here, but just the appeal from the Galio being enough to get Mordekaiser and Volibear into the fight, and also keeping them off of the MF just enough to bring the fight back into Zenigma Shadowfire's favor. I am sorry if I'm butchering your team's name.
We'll teach it to you by the end of the season.
Oh, yeah, you will.
It looks like Baron is going to go uncontested with...
I do have to agree with our god here. Frostfire Shen does not look like to be the best item for this game. I will give it props for the attempt, but I just do not agree with it. Sunfire probably would have been better.
But he does get to get bigger. He has a scaling size. Yeah, I know, and as Ansem is yelling at me in the back of my head, it means nothing, but it's fun.
or as everyone in Steel likes to call him, God. But yeah, a Frostfire would be more beneficial if you were playing someone like Cho'Gath, who already gets large in size anyways from his ultimate, just more soaking up. And seeing from the Mordekaiser, he got his Riftmaker break. Now he's just going all in on the armor, Seekers, Bramble, and basically the equivalent of Ninja Tabbies here.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, they've only got the Yasuo for basically damage. So just being able to survive him is really good. Leona coming out, and she's going to accidentally engage it onto the Galio, missing on the far target. Volibear diving in on the Ashe. Looks like Ashe is going to have to flash away, almost ticking out to that red buff.
Sadly there, when that fight started, Shen did not have his stance united, and he couldn't pop it because of the threat of Mordekaiser. Yasuo is currently in bot lane getting a turret, while Zenigma Shadowfire here has just gone through mid lane, taking most of the towers there with Baron.
I don't know if Shen's going to be able to hold this top lane. It looks like they're going to get another Cloud Drake.
Definitely really good for the side of Shadowfire here. Getting that ult CD on people like the Cassiopeia, Mordekaiser, Volibear, Galio. Definitely Galio as well. And we're getting Imperial Mandate on the Galio here. What do you think about it?
I think Imperial Mandate is just a fantastic item in general to keep your team alive. If just because of all of his CC. On top of it, we've got a bunch of really good ultimates. You got Mordekaiser, you got Galio ult, which allows him to be basically anywhere on the map, and they do have the potential to hit that 60%, or not 60%, I'm sorry, I'm used to regular CDR, that 60 ability haste from the Drakes alone on the ultimates for champions such as Galio, which is absurd. on top of what other ability haste they're already going to be buying.
I will say
Volibear flashes onto the Ashe. Shen ult coming down to the Ashe. Misfortune ult coming onto the Ashe as well. Shen finishing taunt flash from the Galio, killing the Ashe. Shen taunting away, but getting stopped by the Galio and going to be going down to the rest of red team.
That was pretty clean by the Galio there.
Looks like Ivern is getting caught out as well. Flash is deeper into the mid lane and is going to be taken down by the red team as well. It's looking like this might be an inhib.
That was pretty clean by the Galio there. Even after Shen taunted out, he waited to go and CC until the blast cone was already popped. So Shen had no way of getting out. Leona tried to save the Ashe there, but the flash and then the taunt from the Galio just sealed the deal. And looks like they're going to go for another inhib here. Nothing much that they can do after they lost Shen and Ivern, as well as Ashe having to respawn.
Oh, we got Mordekaiser ult onto the Ashe. The Ashe is just going to have to run, but dies to the Mordekaiser in the ult. Mordekaiser now turning his sights on the Leona, who flashes away immediately.
Definitely looking more on the side of Shadowfire.
We got Galio ult coming down on that Volibear, but it looks like the Daisy is going to almost kill Volibear, barely getting out. Shen and Leona are going to die as well for that fight.
As that looks like it's going to be the end of the game and the win to Shadowfire. A 2-0 clean for their first week. Congratulations on that. And
this is only the first week, so this is not a huge representation of what's going to happen during the course of this thing. Either teams could pull ahead and do very well during the next coming weeks. I'm interested to see how they do.
It's definitely a morale booster for the side of Shadowfire here, but I doubt KGB is going to take this lightly. They're going to figure out what they did wrong here and improve. So, yeah. Nice. We'll just talk about that fight for a moment. Is that after having the Yasuo and the Ashe down, their only AD sources other than Shen's sometimes Qs, really they only had the magic damage, and the Galio ult with that magic shield was actually really good there. You only really had the damage from the tower to get for that physical damage.
And all right, we're now going to go ahead and move over to the post game interview. So we're going to have a short little transition over. Oh, I have to go over here. I didn't know about this one. Can they still hear me? Oh, okay. They can hear me just for a little bit then.
They can listen to us while we're not talking to anybody else but other than ourselves. And also something that's going on during this is Clash. So hopefully you guys clashes are going well, going smooth, getting that 3-0 win, getting your rewards. Oh,
hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I actually have a kind of curious question because both teams had a similar team comp that were on blue side. They usually would pick like 2 effective support. Oh, I'm gonna restart my question because you joined a little later. Sorry about that. Welcome. But yeah, I had a question about the team comps that both teams had on when they were on blue side. They both opted for basically 2 supports, 2 tanks, and then a singular carry for KG Bear or for Zenigma Shadowfire. I think the carry was Ashe that you guys sent down there, and for KG Baron, you guys had the Yasuo mid lane. What's the idea behind running these just single carry comps?
On our team, we technically didn't have a single carry. Like, you talk about first game or second game?
For y'all, if you were on Shadowfire, it would have been the first game because the Ashe was the one that was building all the damage. You still had like a Seraphine mid lane, which is a more supportive mid laner.
I don't know if you saw the damage charts, but I was on Seraphine and just the highest damage in the game. So Like, and I was not building to be a supportive. I was building to do insane amount of damage and burn the tanks down. But like, we had two forms of carries right there with Ashe and Seraphine. The kiting potential is unlimited, and we kind of drafted this way with so much CC because we know that if one doesn't land, the other lands. It's guaranteed to get a Malphite ult off.
Mm.
And then with the second game, I feel like we had two carries again. Our ADC is amazing on Misfortune and knows how to use her ult. And a Cassiopeia is a late game DPSer. And Mordekaiser knows how to 1v2. So I feel like we were setting up ourselves early to stall for farming. Like, we gave the first two Drakes intentionally and farm out, get the Rift Herald if possible, and only fight with numbers advantages until we scaled, and we did.
It seemed more of a. It seemed more that KG Baron wanted to go for more what you guys did in the first game, which was a little bit protect the carry comp. You know, Seraphine was more of a carry herself. And I will say that Seraphine, really well done by whoever played it. I believe it was you, Vidra, but it was really well done, really well timed ults as well with the Amumu. So, got to give you props there. You played the games really well.
We personally, for our team, gave MVP to our jungler. He played out of his mind that game. Other than that initial int at the second game, it was pretty good.
I will say one thing though. I wanted to ask the Ivern support. I rarely see it. What was your thought process when you guys were picking it?
Well, the thought was to steal it from their jungler because he is that good. Like, he is solid in the jungle. And our bot laner is mains Ivern because this is the strongest, and he plays it a lot in the support role. We've done tons of practice with it, and we know that he can carry through that lane, especially into late game. That peel, like I said, we had so much CC when it came to team fighting there, especially when it came to late game, that if they engaged onto us, anyone that engaged is going to be dead instantly. And unless they killed either me or the ADC with an instant burst, we just out-sustained them. The point of the Seraphine pick was just to keep us alive if we do get too low. Other than that, we built full damage on her.
And noticing you guys actually banned Seraphine the second game probably might have been a good idea.
It is. She's right now busted in the meta, and we knew their support was playing a lot of Seraphine, and we know that it's anytime we have a Seraphine in the bot lane, our lane struggles a bit, and it's for good reason. She's just got so much reach, and it counters our play style very much.
You got any other questions here, Zenigma, Ryan?
I guess the other half of my first question, but in respect to KG Baron to slap that Ashe, you guys again, you played the I love that name, but you guys played the single carry. The single carry game too. Like, you had the Ivern jungle as a support. Leona Ashe. Ashe did the more supportive build with the Imperial Mandate. Oh, then I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
But honestly, I hope you guys make it to you guys' playoffs. Will most likely be it because of the people in your division, but you guys look like you have the synergy and the comps to make it far. So honestly, props to you guys for winning the first week. But no, it's not over. It's not over yet. You guys can still push yourselves to make it. That I expected that all teams with Demacia make playoffs. There aren't many teams, so expected. But you guys can still make it far. Still show that you guys have the stuff to be a champion in your division.
Appreciate that. It was a fun 2 games, and shout outs to the other team for playing well and being good sports. Like, I think everybody was happy and good natured on both sides. It was fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys were joking around when you guys were pausing. It was good to see that kind of sportsmanship, really.
Anything else you guys wanna? Anything else you two guests want to say here before we wrap it up?
This was just for our first game in casual esports. It was a good experience, and we're looking forward to more games like this.
What about you, Slap That Ash?
I don't know if he's there.
All
Good
right.
answer.
Are you there?
Oh.
No, I think he left.
Well, anyways, hopefully you guys have a good Saturday. And are you guys playing Clash tomorrow?
Yeah, we plan to. We really plan to. So.
Well, hopefully you guys do well in Clash. You guys definitely seem to have the synergy of what makes a team tick. So,
Thank
well, good luck to you guys, and have a good night.
You too.